here in Newark, New Jersey, have the third largest seaport in the country. It is the largest seaport on the East Coast, Newark and Elizabeth seaports. And these seaports are powered really by diesel pollution from the ships, from the cranes, all the equipment on them. So they present an air pollution problem. And goods from all over the world come into these seaports and are consumed largely in this large metropolitan region of over 20 million people. And they are largely delivered to people on diesel trucks. Now we have the raising of the Bayonne Bridge, which is a proposal that would allow larger ships to enter into Port Newark and Elizabeth. Currently the Bayonne Bridge is too low for the post-Panamax ships, which are the super-sized ships, container ships, to pass through. So they're proposing to raise this Bayonne Bridge to allow these super containers to come into the seaports here. And what that means for communities like Newark, it means more containers, more goods, and more diesel pollution.
The raising of the Bayonne Bridge, we're going to have these super-sized Panamax ships coming in, bringing twice as much cargo as they have in the past. That means we'll have 10,000 truck trips a day, which we have now. Truck trips a day coming through our neighborhoods, making our children sick, and bringing more pollution to our communities. The Coalition for Healthy Ports is made up of over 40 organizations, interfaith, environmental justice, labor organizations. They're all working to make sure that we keep the port operating, but producing benefits like clean air, good jobs, and healthy communities.
I'm in front of Vickers Park, and this is one of the areas where we do our truck count, but it's also a major area where our fields are located. So our kids participated actively in sports, and while they're participating in sports, they're exposed to the diesel pollution from these older trucks.
I'm standing here in Vickers Park, and as you can see, there's surrounding diesel trucks in our area, which is a concern to us, the citizens in the South Fork. One thing we are receiving or experiencing is asthma type symptoms, and we found out that this is a direct cause from the diesel output from the trucks.
Well, there's definitely a problem in Newark with asthma. So we know that the rate of hospitalization among kids in Newark for asthma is about double that of the surrounding communities here in Essex County in New Jersey. And it's obviously a very complex problem. Asthma is a very complex disease, has many different factors involved. But we certainly think that air pollution, with the concentration of trucks around the port, the highways, around the community here, especially in the Ironbound, but also throughout Newark, may be contributing to the high rates of asthma. Kids who are exposed to more traffic-related and other air pollution have lower lung growth. Their lungs don't grow as fast as kids exposed to less air pollution. And then as kids get older, they tend to develop more asthma in urban areas where there's more exposure to air pollution as well as the traffic pollution. And those types of air pollution have specifically been associated with increased risk of asthma. And then later in life, adults are more at risk for cancer from diesel exhaust and other air pollution. And then heart disease as well. So the diseases of childhood as well as old age or adulthood are all related to diesel exhaust air pollution.
One of the things that we'd like to see and we demand to see really is the upgrading of the trucking fleet that services the port, the drayage trucks, to 2007 engines or newer. Of course, we'd like to see that happen, but not, of course, on the back of low-wage drivers, truck drivers. We know that that doesn't work.
I work hard each and every day, delivering goods that keep our economy moving. I deserve to have the right that other employees in our economy have. My employer deprives me of these rights by calling me an independent contractor. But this classification only improves my employer's bottom line while destroying mine. And it's not just me. This misclassification scam is the norm for the 7,000 drivers who haul containers on and off the ports. I want to drive a clean truck, but under my current wage and condition, there is no way I can afford one. Workers like me are driving behind the wheel of a dirty truck each and every day. As a driver, I'm forced to wait online at the port for several hours. The diesel fumes and inhale cause dizziness and headaches. We have environmental crisis because of the scam of misclassification.
Well, only about 8% of jobs at the port are filled by Newark residents, and that's a concern to us. Those jobs should go to Newark residents. We want to see youth know about those jobs so that they can train early for them. We would like to have apprenticeship programs. We think the city and the unions should lead on that, make sure that local people aspire for, train, and get those jobs. We're concerned about the tendency to install intermodal warehouses, which is where they bring the goods from the port and sort them for retail. Around the country, those are staffed by temporary agencies. That's no way to have good jobs. Those should be direct jobs. Those workers should have the right to organize. The city should keep an eye on those temp agencies. We want prosperity to come from the port. We know we can have clean air and good jobs, and that's what we want to work for.
The lack of transparency at the Port Authority is very concerning. They regularly withhold information from the public and from elected officials. We know the burden that these residents face in terms of the cost to their health and to their environment. So it's only right that they be given a seat at the table. We deserve to be involved in important decision making with regards to things such as the clean air strategy. Fortunately, the Coalition for Healthy Ports has been given an opportunity to serve an advisory role to Newark City Hall on these types of issues. So we look forward to working together on environmental justice and economic justice.
Currently, the folks responsible for managing and overseeing the seaports are the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, this bi-state entity that leases out and manages the seaports, and they have a very weak plan to manage air pollution that they are contributing to the region. They've only agreed to voluntary measures, and they have a very weak clean air plan in which they commit to very low levels of reductions.
We want a community benefits agreement with Port Authority and an equitable lease agreement, as well as a container fee to help create additional jobs for Newark residents, and all those who benefit should also pay the cost of the health burden that Newark residents are exposed to each and every day. The city of Newark owns the property that Port Authority sits on, and they receive $600 million a year, and they only give the city of Newark $100 million in return. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey is not a good neighbor at this moment. The Community Benefits Agreement will begin to address the health impacts and effects that our residents receive. We have the power. We own the land that the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey has under their jurisdiction. So now we need our elected officials, our mayor and our municipal council, to step up to the plate and fight for a healthy, cleaner port.
Well, the only way that we can win is by working together. The Coalition for Healthy Ports doesn't just work in Newark, we work in other cities here in New Jersey, and we're part of a much larger network called the Moving Forward Network. That network is a national network, all working together to get zero emissions at all our ports across the country. And we want to replicate the success that we've had in other ports. So in LA, they achieved a 90% reduction in diesel pollution from their trucks. We want that here in Newark. The only way that we're going to make these things happen is if the community gets involved. And whenever the community residents have learned about the problems at the port, they've always wanted to take action. So by working together, by broadening our network and our voices, we can get the success that we seek here at the port. We can have the port operating, we can have the port expanding, and we can still have clean air and good jobs for our neighbors.